from the streets of Cincinnati. Welcome to the jungle! Let's go. Stripes, 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 yeah. Stripes, 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 yeah. Stripes, 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 yeah. Orange in the day, black in the night. Stripes in our veins, sparks gonna fly. The beast is awake, orange, black and white. Cause when the jungle come alive, day we ignite in stripes. Cincinnati, we gon' rise in in the jungle, we unite in dripping orange and black and white. All day when we fight, live and die in these stripes. Wake up the beast, every game day is a feast. Time to bust it off the leash. In the jungle, dripping heat. Tigers strike the city streets. East side, stand up. West side, stand up. If you reppin' who they, time to put your hands up. Bengals stripes, we in it. New day, new age, yeah, we get it. Cincinnati jungle fitted. Blue day in our house, we win it. Orange and black and white, we build it. Earn our stripes, you know we kill it. Bleed our colors, jungle dripping. Nasty, natty, yeah, we live it. Lit the crowd, get the city loud. Yeah, we feasting now. Fit the bounce, make the city howl. Now we beastin' now. Thunder through the tunnel, from the sideline to the huddle. Stripes we tatted on the jungle when we flex that who they muscle on them. Stripes, Cincinnati, we gon' rise in in the jungle, we unite in dripping orange and black and white. All day when we fight, live and die in these stripes. Stripes. Now who gotta move like it on? Stripes. Now who wanna move crossing on? Stripes. Now who wanna move on? If you got stripes and you let the city know you rock 'em, yeah we got 'em, yeah we fought 'em. Like that black and orange upon 'em, bingo bottle, never stop it till the beast of feastin' know who they rockin' with the diamond stripes, flossin' on the ring. Cincinnati, she's our queen, we gon' show the world who king. Orange in the day, black in the night. Stripes in our veins, sparks gonna fly. The beast is awake, orange, black and white. Cause when the jungle come alive, day we ignite in Cincinnati, we gon' rise in the jungle, we unite in dripping orange and black and white. All day when we fight, live and die in these stripes. Now who gotta move like it on? Now who wanna move crossing on? Now who wanna move on? All day when we fight, live and die in these stripes.
Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to the show. This is Sports with Strawberry Ice. I'm your host, the Iceman, Jeff Trenopole. And as always, I bring you sports from a West Side point of view right here in the great city of Cincinnati, Ohio, home of Jackpot Joey Burrow and the first place Cincinnati Bengals. Thank you, Las Vegas Raiders. Clowns went down last night. That was awesome. Now, do me a favor. If you found the show, hit that like and subscribe button. Smash that thumbs up. I'm up to 1,424 subscribers. That is awesome. I appreciate every single one of you guys. And as always, if you guys are watching on Facebook or Twitter, do me a favor and you have yet to subscribe to my channel, please do so. Go to Sports with Strawberry Ice, hit the subscription button, hit the bell for notification, and every time I go live, you'll be notified. Also, exclusively in the YouTube chat crew, we're doing super chats. So if you guys want to support what I'm doing or make sure your comment gets read, please give me a super chat. I would greatly appreciate it. And as always, I'm coming to you live from the Ice Cave. And the Ice Cave is brought to you by T Properties. T Properties, quality housing for quality people. Check out their website at www.tpropertiesllc.com for all your rental property management needs and your rental needs. All right, this just popped up as I started. Jackpot Joey, which is Maddie Myers, needs prayers for Wayne Isaac Walters, Troy's baby boy, is in a bad way at Children's Hospital, hoping for a miracle. Well, that's, yeah, kids. Prayers for Troy's baby boy. Let's hopefully everything's okay with him. Now, in the waiting room, a guy we've been kind of missing back and forth. He was supposed to be on the show a couple weeks ago, and he wasn't able to. Then last week I screwed up and didn't confirm with him that he's going to be on, but I got him on today. He's one of my favorite guys. He's the one, the only Malik Wright. Malik, what's going on, brother?
What's going on, brother, man? That's really nice having my name and then the whole the tiger
Oh
growling and
yeah,
stuff
yeah.
like that. I appreciate that.
We spared no expense here. I even have a live studio audience. I was cheering for you.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it.
Yeah. My sister-in-law from Florida's here, so we have Mrs. Ice and her crazy sister here. So
Okay.
so this could be a kind of interesting show, Malik. I'm just letting you know. Who knows what they'll say?
I'm here for it. I got some questions about Tom Brady and the
Oh yeah, talking about your Tom Brady little love fest over there. All right, so we had some roster moves today.
Yeah,
lots of them to be honest. We had they need some linebackers. So what? What do you think of the moves? Are they good? They bad? They're going to help us? We in trouble? What's up?
I don't think that they're going to hurt us. I think that right now, obviously, with the injury to Joe Bocci, obviously Logan Wilson dealing with a shoulder injury, you got to get some bodies in there right now.
Absolutely.
That being said, I still believe in the game plan. I still believe in Jermaine Pratt and Marcus Bailey. A lot of people forget Marcus Bailey was supposed to be a second-round pick. He actually tore his ACL in college. Yep. And he dealt with a lot of injuries at Purdue, but he's a fantastic linebacker, right? Obviously, you want some more rangy guys, and we've kind of been beat up at that spot this year. But I think they're all solid moves. Keandre Jones, things of that nature. I think we'll be fine.
Yeah, I'm not concerned about Pratt or Bailey. It's after that, who's gonna replace him there? Because one of the biggest things that the Bengals did with this defense is get linebackers to stop Lamar Jackson. So this is coming into the biggest game of the year. Yeah. Gotta stop Lamar. If Lamar's playing, which I will be absolutely shocked if Lamar does not play, to be honest. Have you heard anything if he's playing or not?
No, Lamar's gonna play in this game.
Yeah, that's what I think.
He's gonna play in this game. But here's something that I don't want you to forget about. Remember the Bengals went out and they signed a safety by the name of Ricardo Allen.
Yeah.
Right. So when the going gets tough and the tough gets going, you can mix and match him and Von Bell, who's going to play in the box. The guys are rangy enough. The guys are solid enough to where they can do that. And if you're worried about, hey, who's going to cover Mark Andrews, I'm sure the Bengals will do very similar what they did in last year's game. Last time we played there's a game plan where they have Trey Flowers cover Mark Andrews or Vernon Hargrave, somebody like that. So I think we'll be fine.
Yeah, honestly, Mark Andrews doesn't scare me because, it scares me, but the way they covered him last time, it was fine. He wasn't even a factor. So, but let's roll back to the victory on Sunday and how big of a win was this for the Bengals. I mean, it was a must win. I said that all week. I said they have to go in there. They have to win. My opinion, going down the stretch, they got to win at least 3 out of 4. We got one down, 2 more to go. Yeah. How big a win was this as far as the Bengals season go?
It was huge. I mean, you talk about anytime you're neck and neck with another team that's fighting for a playoff spot. Anytime you can go in there and obviously beat them, that's huge. It's awesome. And which even was awesome, even more awesome was the fact that the Raiders then turn around and beat the Cleveland Browns, which helped the Cincinnati Bengals. And now a lot of people don't know this, but the Raiders now have the tiebreaker over all the teams in the AFC North, not named the Cincinnati Bengals, because the Bengals are the only team in the AFC North to beat them now. So if it comes down to a wild card spot in the Raiders and another team in the AFC North, the Raiders will get it. And, I listen, I think that everything shaped out the way I sort of anticipated it to shape out. I expect similar results this upcoming football week where I have the Packers beating the Cleveland Browns and things of that nature, and the Steelers losing to the Chiefs, barring no crazy injuries or anything like that. Yeah, so I think everything is falling into Cincinnati's lap right now. And a lot of things that I said to you earlier when I was on your show last time was I see the Bengals as a playoff team. I think the Bengals are the best team in the AFC North right now, and I think it's showing.
Absolutely. I mean, I say that I always look at everything through orange-colored sunglasses, and my bold prediction was 11-6 at the beginning of the year, and I'm pretty darn close. I got a couple more wins to get here, but I really do think down the stretch here, I think we can beat the Ratbirds, and I think we can beat the Clowns. And depending on what happens with Kansas City, if they're already wrapped up or whatever, playing them, they might not care about the game. So there's potential we could win all of them.
They'll care about it because they shot themselves in the foot earlier in the season, right?
Right.
They need to win some of these games. They need to. If you want to actually, let's talk about it. The Bengals are still in this position where they can actually still win the AFC as a whole. The Bengals can still be the number one team in the AFC. The AFC is still up for grabs. You know what I mean?
So and think, like, how fun is this? I love this, that there's no dominant team. This is great. It's the week of Christmas. and nobody's even clinched a playoff spot yet. That's
Right.
that to me. That's fun. But
Competitive.
go ahead. Go ahead. What you're saying
No,
before? Sorry.
no, you're fine. It's competitive. It's awesome. It's good to see. I mean, I would have liked to have clinched the playoffs by now because I think we shouldn't have lost to the New York Football Jets. And a lot of people didn't understand why, why I was frustrated. Why was I the way that I was after we lost to the Jets? And it's like, you just can't lose that type of game, especially when it's, when it's right there for the taking. I think the Bengals will win the division, though. I really do. I think the way I see it all, what's going on? What's going on? Marvin L. Anarumo. I like that name, man. I think when you look at it, though, the Bengals, the Bengals, I think the Bengals are going to take care of the business this week against the Baltimore Ravens, and I think that the division will take care of itself. To be completely honest with you, I think by the time the Bengals play the Browns, that game won't mean too much because I think that the Browns are going to actually lose to the Pittsburgh Steelers next week after next. I actually have it's big. Come on now, let's be honest. It's Big Ben's last home game.
Thank God.
It's Big Ben's last home game as a Steelers starting quarterback. They're going to come out loud and proud. I expect him to have the best game in the last 2 years during that game. I really do expect him to.
Yeah, exactly. And I can't stand the Squealers. That's why I always call them the Squealers.
Yeah.
I hope to God that they suck for a long damn time. That would be great because they have tormented me my entire
existence.
Yeah, exactly. Adulthood, childhood, everything. I got so many different players they've hurt from us. And yes, but to see Big Ben's last game would be awesome. John Wick wants to know, is Logan Wilson going to come back at all this year?
Yeah. Logan Wilson should be back probably within the last 2 weeks or so. We'll see how it all shakes out. But if we're in the playoff, I mean, that's why they didn't IR him. They're expecting him to be back soon.
Now, I have a question about Riley Reif because they IR'd him. That's 3 weeks, so he technically could play in the last game, even though Zach said he's probably out for the year.
Yeah, I think his injury is a lot more serious than what they had initially thought. It might be something that may require. I don't want to put words out there. I don't want to say too much, but it could be a lot more serious than what the Bengals had initially thought. I'll just say that. And I could see a situation where he's no longer in the plans for the rest of the season because he's not going to be active. But it is a serious injury. So Isaiah Prince's right tackle one is not a great idea in a game of this magnitude. Should keep Johnson and Carmen until otherwise proven. Yeah, I don't know if the Bengals will actually move on from Fred Johnson. Every opportunity Fred Johnson has gotten to prove himself as a tackle, he's done it.
Right.
If you want my honest opinion, this is a hot take.
Go ahead. What you got?
Ice, listen, I don't like, I'm not one for too many hot takes, but I'll make a hot take right now. I've always been a huge Fred Johnson guy.
Me too, brother. Me too.
The Pittsburgh Steelers were livid when the Bengals pinched him off their practice squad.
Right.
I can tell you right now, I know a lot of people within the Steelers organization. They were hitting me up like, do you know if they're gonna cut Fred Johnson? Do you know if they're gonna cut Fred Johnson? Because their offensive line was in shambles too.
Right.
So I can tell you right now, if the Bengals ever decide to part ways with Fred Johnson, he will be the Steelers' new starting tackle. I can promise you that. They viewed him that highly.
I'll tell you this. Last year, I was on the Fred Johnson bandwagon to be the starting right tackle over the swinging gate Bobby Hart. I wanted them to. I don't ever want to see Fred. I don't ever want to see Fred a guardian. He's not a good guard, but right tackle, he does pretty good.
I think Fred Johnson should get an opportunity to be the tackle of the future.
Yeah,
that's all I'm going to say. I've been saying it. That's all I'm going to say, and I've been saying it. He deserves the opportunity to be the tackle of the future. I've seen him at left tackle. I've seen him at right tackle, and he's impressed at both. He's really impressed at right tackle. So, do with that information what you will, but Fred Johnson is not a guard. Fred Johnson is a tackle, and I think Fred Johnson, if the Bengals play their chips right, especially under Frank Pollock, could be the Bengals tackle of the future. That's what
exactly. Now, I like bringing this up. Well, I don't like bringing this up, but you were on my show for the day of the second day of the draft, I think it was, and that's when you found out we're going to draft Jackson Carman, and you weren't all that happy about it, and we already rehashed all this before last time you're on my show. Sal, we're over halfway through the season. What's your feeling on Jax Carman as far as his rookie season going and his development at guard?
It's weird, man. It's weird. I think he should have got more opportunities there, honestly, to prove himself. I don't know what the obsession is with Hakeem Adeniji. I genuinely don't see it. I mean, I see flashes. I see what he could be potentially, but to me, I think without a shadow of a doubt, the only way a rookie's going to improve is through reps. You know what I
Right.
mean? And I think that this mixing and matching crap has to stop. I think
Mm-hmm.
I think Jackson Carman should be your starting guard for the rest of the season, long term. Quentin Spain. I think those are your guards of the future, man. I think those are your guys that you rely on, man. And I think you got to stop messing around with the offensive line so much. You know, like let these guys get a little bit of continuity going.
Right.
Sure, Jackson Carman struggled. Also, Jackson Carman had food poisoning in the Lions game, and
Right.
you know
And played.
if you remember, we were struggling before he was in there, and then he gets
Mhm.
in there, then automatically we start scoring. We like a competent offense. So like
Right.
him and Fred Johnson just maul people. And this has been their calling card long before they even played next to each other. These are things that these guys have been known for. Fred Johnson can maul people at the guard position. Fred Johnson can maul people at the tackle position.
Right.
And Jackson Carman can maul people at the guard position. They're perfect for this zone scheme, running scheme that the Bengals are trying to run. So stop playing around with it. Stop mixing and matching it. I understand Hakeem Adeniji is supposed to be a good player in the future, and that's fine. But this obsession about him needs to stop.
No, I couldn't agree with you more. That's kind of where I'm at. I mean, I've been a huge Jackson Carman fan, and I agree with you. The only way he gets better is reps. And like you said, I mean, now this is with Hakeem Adeniji in there. The two games I thought the offensive line played the best was the last game against the Squealers and the last game against the Raiders.
Yeah.
And Adeniji was in there, but they had back-to-back weeks of the same guys.
Right.
Now with Adeniji hurt, I don't know if he's how bad he's hurt or not. Do you know anything on Adeniji?
Not too much. I mean, then again, I didn't ask. You know,
right?
This should be the Jackson Carman show. He's your second round pick.
Where I'm at.
Man. He's your second round pick, man. You know, people were already skeptical by you not playing your second round pick. It makes people even more skeptical. And the fact of the matter is, the kid's gotten better every single time he's been in there. So keep giving him opportunities. Yes, he's going to struggle. Yes, he's a rookie. Yes, he's going to struggle. He's going to see new competition each and every single week in the National Football League. But from everything that I heard about this guy, he's a student of the game. He wants to get better. He applies himself, and he wants to make the necessary corrections to make himself a future, starting guard in the National Football League. So at the end of the day, give this guy a chance. Give this guy let him, deal with the ebbs and flows, so to speak, as an offensive lineman. No rookie comes in the game and struggles. You didn't bench Jamar Chase after his drops, right? So why would you bench him after giving up a sack? He's not getting turned around. He's not getting Bobby Hart out there. So you gotta just ride with him. That's my opinion.
No, I agree with that. That's where I'm at. I hope they do it because, like you said, they spent the second round pick on it. They traded down. They knew that's the guy they wanted. That's the one they had picked centered to get. Yeah. So why are you not playing him? That's kind of been my thing with you too. And Fred Johnson, go ahead.
His tape hasn't been bad enough to the point where you're like, he's unplayable. That's all I'm gonna say. His tape hasn't been bad.
Yeah. He's gotten better and better. He keeps improving. And going forward, if Riley Reef is out, Fred Johnson, Frodo, that's my man. Put him at right tackle, put Jackson Carman at right guard, and let's go for it. Let's make this playoff run. Now, this is a poll question I put up yesterday, and it's like 92% to like yes to like 4% no. But in your opinion, Trey Hendrickson with his 10, well, actually, I guess it's considered a half a sack now. He didn't get a full sack, but 10 consecutive games with a half a sack. Is he the best and most productive free agent the Bengals have ever signed, in your opinion?
Yeah, he might be. And the reason being is the Bengals don't sign a lot of free agents out there. They didn't sign a lot of high impact guys, so to speak. Not Fred Johnson. Trey Hendrickson definitely might be. I mean, but again, I remember all of you. Let me just start off by saying this. I remember all of you who were Carl Lawson, Lawson, why don't the Bengals? I remember every single one of you who had something to say, and I tried to tell you, this guy is what you want. Like, I understand the infatuation, but I feel like sometimes as fans in the industry, even me being, in the media industry, I'm still a fan of the Bengals, right? But I think the one thing that I try not to get too attached to players.
Right.
I try not to get too attached to players because I understand that at some point they've got to go. At some point they got to move on. At some point, I feel like we got so accustomed to seeing Carl Lawson, the William Jacksons of the world, step out there that we didn't, when it was time to move on from those guys, we couldn't accept it. The fact that like that, and it was certainly time to move on from Carl Lawson. And it's nothing. Listen, Carl Lawson saw himself as a starting defensive end in the National Football League. He saw himself as an every down starting defensive line. and his production didn't show that. But
Right.
Carl Lawson, he has the most top 10 in the league in pressures, but at some point you got to get the job done. Listen, Trey Hendrickson's top 10 in the league in pressures, and he gets the job done. Right?
Absolutely.
I
Absolutely.
like respect to Carl Lawson for everything that he did for Cincinnati. Respect to him for the games that he wanted to show up and actually be a playmaker, and he didn't have T-Rex arms and wasn't missing tackles out there. But the fact of the matter is, I want guys that actually get the damn job done. I don't want a guy that some kind, gets pressure but whiffs on a tackle because his arms are too short, or he takes plays off, or he says that the reason why he isn't able to reach his potential is because people are telling him not to. I'm not going to get into that. But anyway, yeah.
Well, my opinion, I think he's the biggest one and the most productive one we've had, because
Absolutely.
I know people come at me with Pat-Man Jones and Shane Graham, and they got John Wick saying Reggie Nelson.
Mm-hmm.
Those guys did not make the impact that Trey Henderson is making on every single play right now. He's a force to be reckoned with.
Reggie Nelson was the best trade the Bengals had ever made. I personally think that in my time of living, they traded for him from Jacksonville. He was a bust under Jack Del Rio in Jacksonville. They traded for him. He used to be a cornerback. They pushed him into a safety. He was a dude, though. Pac-Man Jones had all the talent in the world. The issue with him was just off the field issues.
Right.
That was the big stuff. You knew for every great season you got from Pac-Man Jones, you got some off the field stuff during the off season about him, getting arrested or something like that. Yeah. That's the stuff you had to deal with. But in terms of culture, buying in, production, Trey Hendrickson is by far and away not even just one of the best free agents the Bengals have ever had. He's the best pass rusher that I've ever seen in Cincinnati in a long, long time. And people point to Carlos Dunlap, and I got a lot of heat for this on Twitter by some people, and I think they missed what I was trying to say. Carlos Dunlap had his production years, but a lot of Carl Lawson, I feel like you also feel like he didn't reach his potential or what he could have been. He was a freak of nature, but the guy literally just couldn't break through that wall. He was his own worst enemy at times. So, for me, Trey Hendrickson is by far one of the best pass rushers, if not the best pass rusher Cincinnati has had in a long time, probably outside of Michael Johnson, in my opinion.
Absolutely. Now you've talked about culture that Trey Henderson brought here and everything, and to me, the culture and everything has all been set by Zach Taylor. And last week, a lot of people were all over Zach about his play calling. Now we had the ran the ball 3 times there in the fourth quarter, and we punted it to play defense. Everybody, and myself included, was like, throw the ball. In hindsight, for me, I think it was a good thing that he didn't throw the ball, because our defense was balling out. What is your thoughts on the Zach Taylor play calling issue? I don't think it's as big as everybody's making it out to be. What's your thoughts?
Okay, so I'm going to be very, very real here, right? And this is probably as real as I could put it. I think Zach Taylor's play calling is fine. I think his situational play calling needs work. So there's a difference between play calling and situational play calling. His situational play calling in a situation where the game's on the line, or you need points before half or before the quarter end, or whatever it may be, it seems to have dipped a little bit. And I think a lot of it is him being a young coach. A lot of it is him trying to still figure out, because I still don't think Zach fully understands what he has in Joe Burrow. Because you got to understand, he's used to working with Jared Goff. He's used to working with Ryan Tannehill in Miami.
Right.
He's never had a quarterback like Joe Burrow, where you can just go out there and say, okay, we're going to live and die by Jackpot Joey, as you call him.
There you go, baby.
Right. So I think at the end of the day, it's a learning experience. Give the guy a break. I see a lot of jackasses on Twitter saying, "Oh, Zach this, Zachary that, Zach," and I'm like, dude, like, shut up. Like, it's a learning experience. You always got something. It's these talking heads that get on social media, and they just got something to say at every point, at every turn. And it's like, yo, the dude is going through a learning experience, a growing experience. As the quarterback, as the coach, like, these guys are learning each other. And I think, guess what happens when a young coach, for all of you out there who are always on Zach Taylor, for those of you on Twitter who always have something to say or want to be negative Nancy, let me ask you a question, right? What happens when a young coach and a young quarterback grow together?
Ooh,
They start to learn each other. They grow together. They start to understand each other's tendencies. They like to they start to figure out what each other dislike and they don't like. Joe Burrow's in his second year coming off of a torn ACL. And
well,
you want to know
he hasn't played 2 full years yet. That's the thing too.
Yeah, I mean, like, so I think that like you gotta give them a slack. Zach Taylor absolutely has grown to as a play caller, but he's just, Malik just heard that. He's but at the end of the day, for all of you guys, he's not going to just pop out one day and be Andy Reid. Go back and you look at Andy Reid when Andy Reid first started coaching. Go look at Bill Belichick when Bill Belichick started coaching, and all these different guys. Like, no, you got to go through growing the same way these players go through growing experiences and lessons and things that they've never experienced. We're seeing it right now, but we're seeing Zach Taylor's maturation as an offensive coordinator, as a head coach, right before our eyes. So, if those of you who thought Zach Taylor next week was just going to immediately figure out, every game presents a new challenge. So, for you that talk a lot of stuff, respectfully, I love saying respectfully, Iceman, shut the hell up and just let Zach Taylor grow as a play caller. That's just what I got to say.
Malik, I couldn't have said it any better myself. That's what I've been saying this whole time, and it's like people want him people expect the Bengals to have already won a Super Bowl. Sometimes with Zach Taylor,
you got to clip that too. You got to clip that too.
What's that?
You got.
I will. I'm gonna put it out on Twitter for sure.
Yeah,
it's that'd be better than the last one I did. Was when Bengals captain almost died on the show. That was yours gonna be a lot better. But I mean, I couldn't say it any better. I mean, that's what I've been saying all year. Let him. He's a young coach. We got a young team. Sports Illustrated had us winning 2 games.
Sports Illustrated had Zach Taylor as on the list of likely coaches to be fired.
Right.
So,
I mean, he's a coach of the year candidate now.
You guys went from saying hire Joe Brady to
who got fired.
Why aren't you the next Sean McVay with your play calling?
Right. Exactly. All right. It's almost 6:00. You got to get going.
I got some more time.
All right. Let me see here. Oh yeah, this one I'll get to. Royal Flush Cherry, and he said I need an answer for Mark Andrews this weekend. And well, last time we played him, Logan Wilson was our answer, and we don't have him. I think Pratt has got to step up big time again. I mean, and Pratt had a great game this past weekend. What's your thoughts? Who you think? What do you think the answer is for Mark Andrews?
Yeah, so I actually share a bit of opinion here on this. Okay. I think our answer is very, very simple, actually, for Mark Andrews. And it's who I said earlier, Trey Flowers. He's a big, strong cornerback. And I'm pretty sure, I'm double checking it right now, but I'm pretty sure he sure did. Trey Flowers was matched up on him.
Oh, what? Okay,
Trey Flowers was matched up on Mark Andrews, especially on third down situations. So yeah, that's the answer right there to Mark Andrews. And Mark Andrews was pretty quiet outside of the 2 catches I think he had.
Absolutely. All right, I got a $5 super chat from, $10 super chat from John Wicks. I appreciate it, and I love this one right here because I'm so happy for Eli Apple. But how big of a pickup was Eli Apple this season? He's been fired this year. He got off to a kind of a slow start, but he's gotten a lot better. Go ahead, Malik.
This is where I say, let's stop for a second. Let's give a shout out to Lou Anarumo as defensive coordinator.
And not Armadillo, Anarumo.
Anarumo. Let's talk about him as defensive coordinator. How is it that cast-offs, right? One man's trash is another man's treasure. How is it that those guys are coming into his system and able to produce? Here's what people aren't talking about. Lou Anarumo was a defensive backs coach for the New York Football Giants. Lou Anarumo was a defensive backs coach for the Miami Dolphins. Guess who drafted one of the best cornerbacks in the league in Xavier Howard? Lou Anarumo. So when you see our corners producing, why aren't people talking about the job that Lou Anarumo's doing? Eli Apple was considered a bust everywhere he went. All I saw on Twitter was good luck since he
rotten apple, bad apple.
And now all of a sudden he's producing. All of a sudden Trey Flowers, who Seahawks fans said was bad. All of a sudden he's lining up against Mark Andrews, lining up against big tight ends and shutting them out of games outside of George Kittle because he's a man among boys.
Yes, that's our whole story.
The fact of the matter is, Lou Anarumo, our defensive backs their game has gone to a different level because this guy is literally known for fixing secondaries, for having good secondaries. He's a great talent evaluator when it comes to getting defensive backs. He's a great talent evaluator. Ricardo Allen used to play for him at Purdue. Like, I mean, these are real things, guys. So we got to, I mean, Eli Apple was a good pickup, but I'll be honest with you, I think a lot of cornerbacks would come into Lou Anarumo's system and do very, very well.
The thing is, you haven't even mentioned Cheetah Bay. How good has Cheetah Bay been this year? I mean, he was good.
So Cheeto, I had him. He was one of my favorite prospects coming out of his respective draft. I'm a huge Cheetah Bay Woozie fan. He was used horrible in Dallas. I mean, horrible. Yeah. At times, he was their nickel corner. That's not Cheeto's strength. Cheeto is an outside cornerback, and now we're seeing his ability to match up man to man. Now we're seeing him when he's in zone. He can do both, right? And he's very, very good at attacking the football as well. So Cheetah Bay Woozie was a fantastic pick. He's the one guy that I could say, had he gone to a different system, he'd probably still be playing well. But the fact that he's playing in Lou Anarumo's system inside this defense, I think we're seeing this defense take the next step.
Exactly. All right. Whitney says this year's the first year that Lou and Zach finally got their core team together, and look at the progress already. They all matured together. And that's one thing I've said, Malik, is it took him a while for Zach to get his guys in there, for Lou to get his guys in there. And I kind of came to, as far as Lou goes, I kind of came to that realization over the summertime. There's a lot of guys on that defense that weren't his, that didn't want to do what he wanted them to do, or couldn't do what he wanted them to do. He got his own guys in there. Zach got his guys in there. We haven't heard any locker room anything. Everybody's all on the same page, and you got everybody pulling on the rope the same direction. It makes a huge difference.
Let me say this. Who did you start seeing production from first, the defense or the offense? The offense, right?
Right.
When's the last time the Bengals invested a first-round premium pick on a defensive player? 2017, William Jackson.
Thank you. Okay. I was trying to remember. I can't even remember.
No, it was 2017, William Jackson. Everything else was offense. So guess what? When Lou Anarumo took over the Bengals defense, they had one of the worst defensive units in the league. Now, understand. Let's talk about that.
It was historically bad. Historically, they set records of how bad they were. Good.
So think about what you just said, right? Right, Ice? Now, ask yourself, when it came time to get rid of some of those players, why Bengals fans fought tooth and nail and were like, why are we getting rid of Vontaze Burfict? Why are we getting rid of this William Jackson? So you want us to keep the same bad players that were also a part of those terrible defenses.
Right.
So you want us to get it makes a lot. You want some of those linebackers that was out there in Brandon Bell.
Oh God.
and Hardy Nickerson. You want those guys to be our starting linebackers. You want those guys. You want Malik Jefferson to still be here. You want those guys to be our defensive guys of the future when they clearly didn't have the capabilities. Listen, the fact of the matter is, the Bengals' best defensive pick, I want to say, in the draft the last few years has been Jesse Bates.
Oh, absolutely.
It's been Jesse Bates. You know what I mean? So, like, the fact of the matter is, you had to break it all down to build it back up. And absolutely. Now, you look at where we started versus where we are right now. You know, those starters, when those guys took over, most of them actually, not even half, most of them aren't even in the league right now.
Right. One thing we haven't talked about is Whitney brings up here is BJ Hill. We flat stole him. I've said this all year. Stole him from the Giants.
Yeah,
he has been a godsend to that D line. And and Larry Obi-Wan Gajoba, as I call him, BJ Hill, DJ Reader. Those guys been balling out, dude. You can't run on us at all.
You know what's crazy? Both of those guys that Whitney had mentioned were both played poorly and out of position in their past teams. Larry Ogunjobi was played at nose tackle. He is not. He's a 3-tech. He can rush the passer from the inside. He is, and for those of you who don't understand the verbiage of sort of what I'm saying, is a nose tackle is sort of what DJ Reader is. DJ Reader is not necessarily known as a pass rusher, but he can rush the passer in certain instances. But a nose tackle's job is primarily to stop the run. Larry Ogunjobi was used
as two guys.
Yeah, that's what Larry Ogunjobi's job was essentially in Cleveland. He did not produce to the level he's producing right now. Now we're seeing it. And in terms of BJ Hill was also played on the edge in New York. He was played as an edge rusher at points in the New York Football Giants. So he was played out of position. But when he was rushed from the middle, he always produced with the New York Football Giants. I called it when we first traded, and I said that was an absolute fleece. It was an absolute fleece. It was a heist. And we should be. I said I think my exact tweet was that I deleted was, the Bengals should be brought up on charges for what they just did to New York Football Giants,
I like
and they got a pick out of it.
you tweeted it, then you deleted it. I like that.
Yeah, oh yeah, because I was like,
Jeff
oh,
Holmes says, Blake, how much of an impact has Mark Duffner had as someone who's hired this year to oversee Lou Anarumo and the defense?
So, Jeff, that's a very good question. First and foremost, so Mark Duffner was already here actually last year. I think that Mark Duffner was great. You know, Mark Duffner is a former defense coordinator. He knows he's familiar with Cincinnati. He's familiar with fixing linebackers, stuff like that. So no doubt he's definitely helped with the linebacker aspect of things. But he's more so just a senior advisor. Marion Hobby and Frank Pollock were the two critical pickups in Cincinnati. And it was also important to get coaches in here that were also preaching the same message, because the same message as the defensive coordinator, the head coach, things of that nature, because you didn't want, but that's a story for a different day. But you need to have coaches that are preaching the same message. I'll leave it at that. Exactly.
Now, I can't wait till Sunday. I'm fired up. I wish it was Sunday already. Let's say worst case scenario and the Bengals lose. I don't think they're going to. There's still a pathway to the playoffs for the Bengals, but it's a lot harder. What
is it?
I don't know. I go ahead. I guess that's a good question. Is it? What do you got?
So I'll tell you this. And I'm going to pull up some schedules here just to make sure I'm saying the right things to you.
Okay.
The Ravens beat the Bengals, right? Let's say, hypothetically speaking, the Ravens beat the Bengals. Well, the Ravens would then move to what's that? What would be their record? 9-6.
9-6. I think so.
Well, I believe the Ravens will struggle against the Rams. I don't think the Ravens will beat the Rams.
Right.
And that will move them to 9-7.
Let's see here. They're 8-6 right now. So if they win, they'd be 9-6.
Right. So I don't think the Ravens would beat the Rams. Right. So that would move them to 9-7. Then the Steelers and them will take out themselves with that game. But I also think the Steelers are going to lose this week against the Kansas City Chiefs. Couple that with the Browns also face the Packers this week. So it's going to come down to that Week 18 matchup between us and the Cleveland Browns. So we'd have to beat Cleveland. We'd have to beat Cleveland, and we'd have to beat KC.
Now that's scarier, because I'm not scared of the clowns. Chiefs I'm scared of. Chiefs are good. Travis Kelce, my UC Bearcat, which we're not even going to get into the college football discussion, Malik, because I already know where you're at. But my UC Bearcat, Travis Kelce, is pretty damn good, is all I got to say.
I'll put it to you this way. I'm not fearful of the Chiefs. That's just – I don't think their defense is good. And I think that our defense –
it's not the defense. It's the offense. I don't know if we can keep up with them. They're balling out.
Here's the thing. Our defense at some point is going to get a stop or two. I don't know if I could say the same about their defense.
Hey, sounds good to me. But, I mean – there's a chance that we could go, we win all three of these games.
Absolutely.
But I mean, and that would be unbelievable, because the Bengals has been such an up and down season this year. And this is what drove me nuts to some Bengals fans, which I said the Bengals moved the goalpost on them, because it started out 5-2. So everybody's like, oh, wow, 5-2. We can go to the Super Bowl. We can do this, So the goal went up here, and then we went, 4 or 2-4 to the next couple games. And everybody's like, "Oh, you got to fire Zach Taylor. This is horrendous. What are we doing?"
Right.
If we end the season 3-1, 4-0 down the stretch, what's everybody going to bitch about then?
I think Cincinnati is going to be in the playoffs this year.
Absolutely.
I'm going to chill on making predictions and things of that nature, but I'll just say this. I think that they understand what's in front of them. I think they understand the magnitude of this game these next few weeks. And I think every team goes through that little bit of a spell where they struggle, and you're like, okay, what in the world? Chiefs ain't going to keep winning. They got to lose at some point, right? So that's the beauty of football. Like, you still have to put the shoulder pads on and put on the helmet and play. Right. And at the end of the day, I trust our guys to get the job done, understanding the task in front of them.
Jeff Holmes says Tariq Hill and Travis Kelce are out this week versus the Squealers.
I think they still have the opportunity to test out still.
Okay. I know Travis Kelce, I heard he's in the COVID reserve list or whatever. And yeah, it's Tuesday. So they got a chance to test out for sure. So Anyway, you've been on for a half an hour. I know you got other stuff to do. And hey, dude, I appreciate you coming on. Like I said,
course,
you and me,
man.
we crossed
Always, man.
miscommunicated. And like I said, dude, I saw you at the Bengal gyms. It was like, I'm working so many freaking hours. I didn't even message you.
Nah, it's all good, man. It's all good. Listen, somebody's got to do it, right? So
Exactly. So
I appreciate you having me on.
hey, give a shout out to all your right network and all everything you got going on.
Absolutely. So you guys can follow me on Twitter, Wright Report, if you don't follow me already.
Which you should.
Follow me on Wright Report on Twitter if you like GIFs and you like news being broken in fun ways. Follow my entire company, TWSN, on Twitter. We love interacting with all you guys, and just so you guys know, we're actually moving the company out to Cincinnati, Ohio. So we're really, really excited to get out there. We're really, really excited to become one with the community and embrace all you guys, and appreciate the love and support you guys have shown me. You guys have shown my company, and who dat,
Malik. Appreciate it as always, brother. See you.
Thanks, Jeff. You take care. Bye.
Take it easy, buddy. Bye. All right, guys. Malik Wright is one of my favorite guys to have on the show. And like I said, if you ever want to know anything that's going on, go follow him on Twitter. He is in the know. Now, like you said, you got to follow his GIFs, because some of his GIFs he'll put out there and you kind of got to figure out what he's talking about. But most of the time, he's right and it comes true. All right, let me get to the Facebook groups that let me live stream, and I appreciate every single one of them. They are Who Dey Nation, Who Dey Legion, Bearcat Ruckus, Bearcat Country, Cincinnati Reds, rounding third, heading for home, the Ohio State Bucknuts, the Ice Bar. You can follow me on all my social media platforms, all under Sports with Strawberry Ice. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Twitter handle is at Jeff A. Triniple. TikTok is at Iceman90. I'll be pulling off the sound later on tonight, so if you missed any of this with Malik and you don't want to watch it for, what do we got here, 41 minutes, you can listen to it. Check it out on BeanPod, Apple iTunes, Spotify, Google, Stitcher Play, pretty much wherever you get your podcast. Make sure you rate, like, and review. Give me a 5-star review. Please leave a comment so more Cincinnati fans can find my podcast. I would greatly appreciate it. YouTubers, we're at 1,424 subscribers. That is awesome. I appreciate every single one of you guys. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please do so, because I'm trying to get to 2,000 subscribers by Super Bowl. It's going to be a big get. But tell your friends, tell your neighbors about Sports with Strawberry Ice. Like I said, I would greatly appreciate it. We got 2 football games tonight. Now, they're locally. So I don't know if we're going to be able to watch which one we're going to be able to watch, if we're going to be able to watch any of them. But there are 2 tonight. So if you want to get your football fix, there's also college games on. And we're getting very, very close to the University of Cincinnati Bearcats taking on Alabama. I'll be doing a lot more conversation about that next week. I can't wait. I'm getting nervous. But as my boy, Jeremy Dimebag D's Nuts likes to say, remember one thing and one thing only, and that is you don't live in Cleveland, you live in Cincinnati, so act like it. Who Dey? Is it Sunday yet? I'm so fired up. I cannot wait to get to the game. The Ratbirds are going down, and that's your sports, baby. See ya!
Let's go. Stripes, 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 yeah. Stripes, 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 yeah. Stripes, 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 yeah. Orange in the day, black in the night. Stripes in our veins, sparks gonna fly. The beast disobey, orange, black and white. Cause when the jungle come alive, who day we ignite and stripes. Cincinnati, we gon' rise and in the jungle we unite and drippin' orange and black and white. All day when we fight, live and die in these stripes. Wake up the beast, every day is a feast. Time to bust it off the leash. In the jungle drippin' heat, tigers strike the city streets. East side stand up, west side stand up. If you reppin' who dey, time to put your hands up. Single stripes, we in it. New day, new age, yeah, we get it. Cincinnati jungle fitted. Who Dey in our house, we win it. Orange and black and white, we build it. Earn our stripes, you know we kill it. Bleed our colors, jungle dripping. Nasty, natty, yeah, we live it. Lit the crowd, get the city loud. Yeah, we feasting now. Fit the pounce, make the city howl. Now we beastin' now. Thunder through the tunnel, from the sideline to the huddle. Stripes we tatted on the jungle when we flex that Who Dey muscle on them. Stripes. Cincinnati, we gon' rise and in the jungle we unite and orange, black and white. Cause when the jungle come alive, who day we ignite and Cincinnati, we gon' rise and in the jungle we